Welcome to Verbal Freak Radio, where we give you a verbal image of life, and we are everyday people. Like to welcome y'all to the show. We'll jump right into it, like we always do. But look, there's a post. It had been put out before, but it's recirculating. And the reason why it's recirculating is because of the times that we're living in now. This is the post where you see the Pope kissing the feet of the Africans, and the title Pope kisses the feet of the Moors. And you know, there's been a lot of comments on that particular photo. And as I stated, it's starting to recirculate itself on social media. And I just want to give you all the reason why the Pope is kissing the feet of the Moors. And this is coming out of Rasta Livewire. It's talking about the unholy alliance or Catholic Church that Livewire was breaking down. I just wanted to share this with you all so you can get an understanding of what's going on and where we at right now, right? So check it out. The unholy Roman Catholic Church, that was when the Pope of Rome, who was the chief of the rebellious European tribe who fell outside civilization, began his open war against the armies of Jah Allah, the god of the Africans. The Roman papacy organized the rudest, cruelest, barbaric sort of insurrection against the rule of the Black Moorish Caliphate, who brought light and civilization to Europe, or the Europeans. It was the Moors who taught them how to build, paved their streets, showed them how to take baths, brought soap. It was the Moors who civilized and liberated the Europeans. But what did they get in return? The most wretched rogues, brigades, terrorists, low-life mass murderers, predecessors of mass killers like Christopher Cologne, also known as Christopher Columbus, were deployed into this battle. This movement was variously known as the Reconquista or the Crusades. The Pope was always the commander-in-chief, as there were no true European nations, so to speak, at that time. They all lived under this super tribal formation called the Holy Roman Empire, or the Holy Roman Catholic Church. The Holy Rome was not the old Roman Empire. This Rome was the product of some outlawed occultist priests who had sworn to misuse their knowledge of the ancient African mysteries to create a rebellion on earth, which was the ancient African mystery system that goes back. And they decided to turn it around to fit their agenda. The ancient African mysteries, the papacy and the Roman Catholic Church, the mysteries had originally been brought to Old Rome by black African monks such as Saint Ignatius, which is Ignatius of Antioch, Origen, or Origen, Tertullian, and St. Augustine, and many other unnamed masters of the old science. Rome was a child of Africa, and for centuries had always been oriented towards North Africa as opposed to North Europe. Black Africans could become and were Roman citizens, just as many Romans migrated and settled Africa. As such, it was not surprising that branches of Africans created mysteries like Christianity should be taken from southern Libya and upper Nile Egypt to Rome and Athens to illuminate their minds. Many cultures were found in old Rome, and they thrived and died at their time. This one mystery that came from Africa, later called Christianity, was hijacked by some bad-minded types, the tail end of the power of old Rome. They then destroyed old Rome from within, like some cancerous tumors, and began their ascent to dominion over the rest of the earth. They called themselves the Holy Roman Universal Empire. They would go out into the world and overthrow the ancient dominions of the old mysteries, the real histories, and replace them with falsities. The Sethian Rebellion Project, Europe and the Roman Catholic Church. The spiritual and temporal leader of this enterprise was the Pope. He was based in the Vatican. He was the leader of this evil set of rebellious outlaw priesthood who, with the aid of perverted knowledge of some ancient Moorish African mystery, first cast his strange stranglehold over the Asiatic pale tribes of Europe who were refugees from the Settips, which is Steppes, of Russia. Those tribes were making very important demographic changes in Europe at that time. See, Russia's still in it. The papacy has, through conquest and programming, through rape, murder, and sundry acts, completely corrupted the new pale tribes of Europe. He was now ready to unleash his minions against the true priestly order, turn the world upside down, mock Yeshua, Muhammad and Mary, and kick Amun-Ra out of his kingdom, or Amun-Ras out of his kingdom. That was when he launched the Crusades. The Reconquistas, the Pope, the modern-day descendant of Set, the rebel who sought to kill Osiris the king, Set the Red who fought against Osiris the perfect black. In launching the Crusades, the papacy advised his pale European minions to loot and destroy the Moorish Jewish cities of Jerusalem, Cairo, Marrakesh, Toledo, Axum, and Benin, which is called Guinea. He gave the sacrament of indulgence, which was a carte blanche check to commit evil in the name of the Pope. They set out this properly mandated and authorized by their mystic rebel father to bring a kind of evil which years of civilized programming had removed from the minds of the Earth's generation. Now, this is why you have the Pope banning not the Pope, but Donald Trump banning 4 African nations from coming to America, which Nigeria, Sudan, and 2 more that he banned it. Why? See, after the Pope did that act and saying, okay, look, I acknowledge the wrongs that we did to the Moors or to Africa, to the blacks. So what I'll do is I'll make amends. I'll kiss the feet of the Moors and try to make things right. Trump like, whoa, no, it's not coming over here. I'm going to ban those African nations from coming to America, especially Nigeria, which is the most populated, because Trump he's fighting it off. He's not ready to accept, as you heard Brother Farrakhan state, that an old world is going out and a new world is coming in. Trump not ready to accept that, so he's banning all North African Islamic type Moors from coming into the Americas to bring that influence and that knowledge and to share with the native blacks that's in America. He's saying you are not going to unite as one. The Pope already accepted it. He's like, look, hey, I'm trying to make amends. Hey, we did a lot to destroy this thing. This sex scandal is taking the Catholic Church down. He's saying, look, man, let us, and see, the African nations are saying, look, you did all this and you claim you was holy and holier than thou, but yet you all raping little boys. We have no respect for you here. So the Pope had to bow down and kiss the feet of the Moors, which you'll see on the picture that accompanies this. We want to go on. The pale Europeans came out of the Dark Ages and domination of the Pope to spread the Dark Ages and papal domination upon the world. This was the movement of the European tribes under the direction of the Pope of Rome to conquer the land of the blacks from which they were expelled in the very distant ancient past for some sin of jealousy, theft, and murder. True story. It's a true story. That's a true story. You know, they was removed from among the righteous for all the chaos and murder and misdeeds that they caused, and they rounded all that they can find and led them to the Caucasus Mountain, roped them in. All right. At the time of his rise, he was set to prove the value of his doctrine of rape and pillage, so he deliberately instructed his Reconquistas to use the shock and awe tactics of rape and needless destruction. Because they worked for him too. It says, because soon his army was destroying and looting, burning and stealing, killing and sacrificing as much as they wanted. The noble Moors were caught off balance by this new concept of ignominy and perfidy in wars or in love. They were higher moral beings. They paid for this with their kingdom and civilization, which was stolen by the Pope of Rome and his hordes of pale crusaders and conquistadors. That word ignominy, ignominy, and perfidy, perfidy, is what they had in here. Spain was lost. The Portugal, the Sicily, Corsica, then Jerusalem, Cairo, then Cape Verde, then Lagos, which belonged to Benin Guinea, all in quick succession. Black domains now dominions of the Pope. Meaning everything that black had, the Pope took that. More would be lost in the later times. All was eventually lost when the Europeans had the boldness and the gall to redesignate the noble Moors of Marrakesh as Negroes of Negro land. It was when the pale Europeans dropped the religio-ethnic identification of Jew from the compound word black Jew and so created the new Jew, blacks, that he began laying the foundation for the present day ignorance of black Moors and black Jews about their true origin. We heard about the racists overreaching over the pale European upon conquering Iberia, their excesses and their excreations, their inquisitions and their expulsions. The bones of the dead still speak through the genes of their generations living today in us, the living Moors. What happened to the black Jews of Spain? The Moranos? What happened to the Moranos, the black Moorish Jews of Spain? Beginning in 1478, in the reign of Ferdinand and Isabella, no less than 13,000 Moranos, black Jews, were executed by the Inquisition. At the same time, the monarchs continued to employ Jewish functionaries such as Don Isaac Abravanel, Abravanel, in their court. Luis de Torres, another Spanish black Jew, played a pivotal role in Christopher Colon's first journey to North America. In 1480s, the Spanish Inquisition was launched and hundreds of thousands of Jews and Muslims were hounded, persecuted, jailed, slaved, and deported. Again, it's rolling up again. You know, they're thinking a way to see what's happening today is so many black and brown populating till whites are saying, hey, we gotta stop this. We gotta stop brown from coming over here, stop black from coming over here. We need more people from Sweden over into America. Y'all blacking and browning out the country. Then y'all bringing in this knowledge of Islam. It's not under Christianity. We can't control or rule over y'all no more. Something has to be done. We're going to block these African countries. Pope, what are you doing? You're kissing the feet of the black Moors. You're making it harder on us. And it's just, they're going through a state of chaos right now. Okay. The last Jews left on August 2nd, 1492, the day before Columbus sailed, the first words Columbus wrote in his log were, "After you expelled the Jews, your majesty sent me with the fleet." That was also the traditional day of mourning, 9th of AV, for the destruction of the first and second temples. They were shipped to the island of Jamaica and Hispaniola. Others went to Sao Tome, Saotome, Cabo Verde, and Mauritius, Mauritius. Many of them escaped the Spanish jurisdiction and began independent communes in the hinterlands or the mountains. The Spanish word Maroons is a play on their Spanish ethnic designation, the Moranos. Moranos means Moorish Jews in Spanish, were the black Jews of Spain who ruled that country for 700 years with the black Muslims of Morocco, Senegal, and Nigeria. See, read that again. Moranos means Moorish Jews in Spanish. They were the black Jews of Spain who ruled Spain for 700 years with the black Muslims of Morocco, Senegal, and Nigeria. So you see why Nigeria is on the bandit list. All right. In 694, the 17th Council of Toledo made all Spanish Jews slaves. The later persecution in the 5th and 16th century was a throwback to the 17th Council of Toledo. Oguejiofo, anew, July 11th. Sources: he saw Richard Laban Jews in Cape Verde and on the Guinea coast. Paper presented at the University of Massachusetts, Dormer 11 of February 1996. Edward Rothstein, Jews in the New Wilderness, New York Times, September 24th, 2004. Columbus Diaries in the original Spanish. Because sometimes, and these I'm just giving you the quotes. But sometimes when you want to go over history and put things together, sometimes when they had the explorers who came over here, they wrote in Spanish. And if you know Spanish, you would get a different outlook and view from what was written in English, especially from the Middle East. Those documents that was written in Arabic when they first came, and they was talking about how when they got here, they saw black people. They talked about the features, meaning, and I'm saying this just to say, and I have to say this, so black people don't feel inferior. You have to know this because this helps better the whole planet when you know who you are. Black people were already populating this whole planet when they were first encountering the Caucasian. And then, so that's why wherever you see Caucasians ruling, they took the land from an indigenous or a black person and ruled over it. But the tactics that they use, especially in what they did up in Africa and with the Moors in Spain and Portugal and North America, Mexico, in Veracruz, and in Brazil and in the Philippines. How they gained access and control over the land, and the tactics and methods that was used was so brutal to where somebody had to apologize, and that Pope kissing the feet of the Moors was a symbolic apology. But the president, Donald Trump, was like, hey, whoa, we banning these countries. We see a wave. You all trying to unite. Things are changing. As I stated, as Brother Farrakhan stated, that one is going out and another one is coming in. And if you hear the minister, he said, man, that the time of their rule is up. And if the time of their rule is up, then what are black people in America, what are we going to do? Now, I want to thank Marcus Murray, A-Tone Production, for sending me that the picture or that video of the Pope kissing the feet of the Moors. I also want to thank Matthew Stanley for sending me that lecture, Dr. Frazier, when he was talking about second slavery, dealing with the economic issues of black people in America. And it is true. He stated that the median income in Boston for blacks is $8. I got to look that up. I mean, it blew my mind when I heard that. But economics. Now, the only economic program that's worked for black people and that's still working today is the economic program of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad that's working today. You know, you call out a lot of the older civil rights leaders and black leaders within America, but their organizations that they started didn't sustain. So you got one that's worked, that's proven that the teachings work because it's still here today and it's still thriving. You know, you talk about making choices. Pretty soon, there's not going to be no choice. You know, because you have to go with what works. Period. You know, and it'll still be there, shining in the light, still building, still growing off those teachings, which is powerful. And it's like I stated, it's sustaining itself till this day, till this very day. Whether because the teachings is powerful, and those who exemplify it will be at the head, and it's just as simple as that. You know, think about it. You know what I mean? Kick it around for a minute. You know, just meditate on it, relax on it for a minute. You know, the times that we're living in, are we ready to be the top rail and move? What are we teaching our children? Are they studying? Are we owning land? You know what I mean? Are we leading in industries? You know, studying economics and money management and whatnot to lead something for our children. I mean, look, if it's okay to have the radio on for a minute, TV on for a minute, but make sure your children is studying something that will benefit and forward a society. Meaning everybody can't be the rapper. We're going to need some scientists out there. We're going to need some people that's studying space. You know, we're going to need some mathematicians, some historians. We're going to need some accountants. We're going to need some economic development minds. I mean, we're going to need so many key areas in building blocks. We're going to need the arts. We're going to need the sciences, art science. We're going to need music. Definitely. It's one of the sciences. You know, we're going to need so many things out of so many different people to create a certain mind, to create a certain building mindset. So, you know, we got work to do. We kind of behind on doing this work, but we got time. But we don't want to get caught and shit hit the fan and we don't have things in place and we scrambling around trying to figure out which way do we go. Hell, figure out your way to go right now while you still got time. Meaning you don't have to have your back up against the wall in order for you to move. You should move gracefully and with rhythm with this nation, sun, moon, and stars, to create harmony with the universe and move peacefully. You don't want somebody to jack you up and make you move, because then you moving out of two things. Either you moving out of anger or you moving out of fear, and that's emotions. And then what you building will get clouded, and your judgment will get clouded. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Verbal Prick Radio. We're out.